maybe you can tell us where this is going. Happy versus Ice Orc. At long last, we finally arrive at game number 1. Will Happy just sweep the kid with 3-0? Or is there a little bit of an upset happening? Remo and Carson will tell ya. Hey everybody, just a quick break before we go into this match. This W3Champions Finals is powered by Scale Tippers, so if you're tired of your old habits of sitting on your ass all day and eating frozen pizza every day, Scale Tippers is there to break these habits. They offer long-term nutrition and workout plans for you to exercise from home. You don't have to go to the gym and embarrass yourself with the first exercises. No, you hop on a call with them, they counsel you a little bit, and then they work out a plan that fits you, your needs, and your taste. We are very, very happy to be with Scale Tippers, and if you want to give them a little thank you, go check them out on Instagram, go check them out on YouTube, where they show a little bit of what they do, and check out the scaletippers.com. And now, enjoy the W3Champions Finals.
Alrighty, so Tidehunters map number 1. Happy is going to be in the upper left and the bottom right. We're going to have Ice Orc now. Mr. Remo Demo Man, are you more familiar with Ice Orc than I am? Do you know any special strategies you might have in this matchup?
I haven't seen him recently too much. Pretty sure he's just going to follow along the standard. In the past, it was quite impressive, and that's a while ago. There was WCG reboot days when, despite his novelty in the scene and his young age, he had really good mid-game decision-making in terms of where he has to go, at what time, what adjustments to make on the fly, and where to be efficient on the map, which to me oftentimes seems like the hardest quality to develop as a player. This is why he really stood out to me, and also perhaps one of the reasons why TH named him as the most talented player in China at the time. But despite all that potential and glimpses of brilliance, he didn't really practice as much and devote as much of his time to the game as many others did, and never really lived up to that potential. But I still would love to see him go far, but man oh man, was that a draw for him here in the first round. And before I ramble on for too long, let's talk about this hero dude. This is a Blade Master. What is this?
Yeah, I think both Blade Master and Farseer can work quite well on Tidehunters. For the Farseer, in the bottom left of the map, in the mid game, you can actually control a little bit and power creep those turtles, all the consumables. That's the power of the Farseer. But for the Blade Master, any map with a marketplace, any map where there's decent creeping with claws early on is, of course, going to be good. This is a map that is level 3. You can pretty easily achieve it with just a grunt or 2. And that's what Ice Orc is going to go for. I feel like more and more players are playing Blade Master now. With the grunt buff, with the Headhunter nerf, and with Undeads honestly getting a lot more used and a lot more comfortable to playing against Headhunters.
Yeah, honestly, ever since the Ghoul build emerged, and 1-0 and Happy showed how to really play well against the Farseer style, I've been saying for a long time, Blade Master is the way to go.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder to pull off. It's a lot harder to not die. Farseer is very bulletproof in the early stages. You're super safe in the early game, you're super safe in the mid game. The late game is where it kind of can possibly crumble if you're not far ahead. Blade Master, the exact opposite. He is the late game carry. The Farseer is unable to be.
I like this creep route from Happy. It reminds me of the TED creep route on Old Echo Isles, where he would get a Rod of Necromancy and creep the shop right away as well. Pretty much the same, but with ghouls from Happy. Immediate level 2. And he does this probably knowing that the Blade Master with the Acolyte Scout exactly what he's creating. Blade is going to get his level 2. Gets ring and gloves, though. That kind of sucks. Yeah, that's really rough.
Yeah, it's very bad. Yeah, I also love to do this Echo Eye creep route. It's almost the same here. Also, the, experience you get, the item you get, also the difficulty of the camp. It's almost entirely the same as Echo Isles. But it takes a lot of Rod of Necromancy charges. So, your first Rod of Necromancy that you buy is almost certainly not going to be enough for level 3. So you're going to have to get back to the base. That cuts down your efficiency a little bit. But with ghouls, especially on this map, you can still creep quite well. Blade Master shows up a bit too late to get the first steal. He was at the marketplace. Was there nothing good in there? Oh my god, no claws in there either. Bad RNG roll so far for Ice Orc.
Yeah, very, very rough. Of course, the marketplace will spawn an item of the same tier of the camps that have been crept so far. So it's again a roll of the dice, but you get another chance at it at least. Nice work. Gonna go for the consumable, but this is kind of a telegraphed play a little bit. And of course, yeah, the sentry, as you mentioned.
Oh, he's staying out of vision. It's nighttime.
Oh my god.
Oh, beautiful level 3, and now it's time to get the grunt. If the speed scroll doesn't save the grunt, it's time to throw in the towel, boys. But okay, saves it at least.
And another bad item, of course, the Scroll the Beast. Not going to be too useful.
Oh
You want
my
the
God,
consumables.
yeah.
Yeah, he bought the circlet. So everything so far is, if not the worst, the second to worst in the case of the Gloves of Haste. And the Blade Master, a full level behind, you generally... I feel like Ice Orc is maybe trying to grab the cheese too often when he should just be trying to power creep. If you trade level 3s, it's not that bad for the Orc. I would say maybe slightly better for the Undead, but he's behind a whole level, and now he has to evasion creep.
Yeah, this is a cool creep, though. This is a fairly big map with lots of creepable camps, and if you are unscouted, you can go for something somewhat ballsy like this. But there's no speed scroll anymore. If he gets found here, this will be very painful. You can see Happy, he's got good vision on the map with the sentries, with the ghouls that were just creeping. The DK's looking around, but he isn't considering that option. I guess now he is. The ghoul is coming in, we'll find that out, but a bit too late, and the blade catches up. Another bad item, Talisman of Evasion, and that is definitely a downside of the Blade Master compared to the Farseer. Yeah, he is strong with super good items, but he needs those items in the first place. He's very item reliant, very much unlike the Farseer in comparison.
Okay, there's that grunt that eventually does go down. Happy still with nearly 3 coils. Could actually kill another grunt. Doesn't want to invest the mana just yet, but I think he honestly could just start throwing those coils. Yeah, there's the first one. Shadowhunter's out, though. That means Hex or Heal Wave if he really wants it, but Hex, obviously, the more common choice. Happy going to back away now. And block. Is he going to try to force the town portal? Okay, no, just going to kill the ghoul. Yeah, without something like a Wand of Mass stealing greater mana at this stage from that consumable, really hard to force the TP. You just simply don't have enough hexes. So Happy kind of here to stay, and the Lich is on the way as well with Nova.
Yeah, losing that first grunt doesn't help when it comes to power leveling, and you need that Shadowhunter leveled up. Need him on level 3 before the first fight normally, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. That's the advantage for Undead in the tier 3 stage. The Lich is much less level reliant for the first couple of fights compared to the Shadow, who, like I said, needs level 3. And speaking of levels, the DK 3.5 already. This is going to be such a fast level 4. The aura may be nerfed, but it's still very good. And when a game starts like this, DK level 5 isn't going to be outside the realm of possibilities either.
Lich comes out, ghouls go towards Sea Giant Camp, immediate creeping. Always love to see second heroes crept this efficiently. Whereas, of course, it's not going to be that efficient for Ice Orc having to split creep with the Blade. The Blade is now level 3, and he does get a Robe of the Magi, the first kind of good item he really found from the, at least, 4 camps that he's now crept. Shadowhunter nearly level 2, and it seems like Happy is going to give Ice Orc some space, something that maybe he doesn't need to do, but he wants to get that Lich level 3 as a priority, and somehow Happy always finds a way to have a really strong Lich right away. Already Gloves to Haste up the circlet, and maybe even a mantle here from this Flesh Eater.
Slippers. Alright, double slippers going to be very nice for the Dark Ranger later on. I like to see that. My lady in some stockings. How you two? Tier 3 on the horizon. We got the TC coming out already. Orc Tech noticeably ahead, but the levels not so much. Blade Master got the first invuln, very important. But only one, doesn't have 2, which ideally would love to have for the first fight. One to break the silence and one to save on the blade.
Okay, you mentioned the tech timing. This is a little bit of a different play from Ice Orc. Sometimes we'll see Orc players prioritize tier 2 units, get one Headhunter, get that Wind Rider off the Bestiary, get a Raider early on, or even a Kodo early on. And this can help with the Shadowhunter creeping, but delay your tier 3 tech. But we see that Ice Orc, he had to creep with his Blade. The Shadowhunters now have to creep green camps. Maybe he should have prioritized getting some extra units on the ground before teching to tier 3, because then the Shadow would have been level 3 by now. Blade, gotta be a little bit careful there. What's going on?
He sold the big mana potion.
Wait, what? Why? What? Why? When? How? Why?
Happy sold the big mana to get the Orb and Dark Ranger faster.
Insane. Does he realize he has a timing? Does he know the Shadow's underleveled this heavily? Because the Shadowhunter is underleveled this heavily.
I guess for him it's all about positioning and tempo in the south right now. All about picking up these items,
yeah,
these camps,
guess so.
this experience. It's a big mana potion though. Like, what?
Yeah, that's a first. That's absolutely a first. I mean, the only time you see it sold is really for Night Elf players. But okay, here comes Ice Orc. No level 3 Shadowhunter and still awful items
DK level 4 before the first fight. That is so strong. This aura is so good. Nova onto the ground. Here we go. Shadowhunter no level 3. TC doesn't have the aura. Lands one nice stomp. He's gonna have only 2 of those total. Blade Master, the only source of damage really, and his damage isn't even that high. He's got plus 14, but in this matchup, that's not so much. Happy morphing the statues. Only destroyers now up in the air. TC saved nicely with a speed scroll, but that's the only speed scroll, and now Ice Orc has to bounce. And if he isn't careful, the TC is also gonna die. Shadowhunter didn't get enough kills for level 3. Now he will, finally! But the Blade Master falls, no invul anymore. Speed scroll, like we said, it was already used. He had a second speed scroll, actually. Kind of neglected to use it. Now does. A bit too late. And Happy, well, has played a very impressive game here so far, and we'll be closing this one out in just a bit.
Yeah, it was a great fight for Ice Orc, really, until he turned around like that. He thought that Happy was just going to straight up nuke the TC. Most players would take the guaranteed kill, but Coil Nova on the Blade Master, Happy knew he had enough damage to finish off the blade, even if the nuke didn't do it exactly. And yeah, but Ice Orc was trading well, and now he has opportunity to maybe force the potion of vulnerability, maybe try to force the town portal. Blade Master's back, Shadow is silenced, and this Kodo cannot run too far. Supply is still nearly even, but Happy's experience, of course, is going to run away with things soon enough.
This game is looking very rough for Ice Orc, but he has the comeback army in the comeback match. If he takes a good fight, if Happy overextends into the main base, if he finally gets the levels he needs, this is a very potent late game mix. If the TC gets level 2, or maybe even 3, and the Blade Master hits 4 and a couple of good crits, there's always a way to come back. Unlike with the Farseer, who plays very poorly from behind.
This guy just bought Claws plus 9 for his Lich. Oh my god.
After selling the big mana. Yeah, he's just taunting me now.
Yeah, it's unreal. That's it. That's an expensive item. Was that 300 gold? If I remember that correctly. Yeah, it's a lot of gold. It's still valuable camps. But Ice Orc, I mean, he's down 7 supply. He's down some experience. He doesn't have the greatest of items. Doesn't have that push of vulnerability that you mentioned being so important earlier. Has that positioning on that statue, but Happy certainly not going to lose this fight if he didn't lose the previous one.
Stands the TC, and Cyclone the Shadowhunter just found that item. No heal scroll, or, well, heal wave, I should say, available. And that is just a stomp from start to finish. Blade Master now revealed he doesn't have an invul. Like you said, gets the kill, gets level 4, but again, the Cyclone with the perfect timing. Missing the mana for the nuke, though. With that, the blade gets away. Shadowhunter, if he gets surrounded, he almost did. That would have done him in. Speed scroll may be needed here to boost out. Only thing that's keeping Happy from victory is the fact that he has low mana. But still, he is very, very far ahead. Having lost some units, though. Not sitting at 50. Could expand at this point fairly easily, I would say. But Ice Orc, he's hanging in there. Still trying to look for his opening.
He's getting trades, right? When they engage, he is trading relatively evenly, but then he's just losing heroes. He gets 1 statue there. Shadowhunter silenced, however. 2 statues before Ice Orc lost anything. The Kodo will go down now. TC should be on his way over. Blade is nearly dead. He's got to get the hell out of here. Ecstasy. DK to try to kill the Shadow, or try to kill the Lich, rather, but not able to. No dust, and Ice Orc knows that. But now he's starting to lose some units. 1 Raider, though, and a Kodo for, what, 2 statues? Not too bad.
And that's, of course, the big advantage of playing Blade Master plus Orb of Lightning. You have a way to easily take out statues, or somewhat easily, which is a lot harder to do with Farseer Headhunters. But the statues are reinforcing, and Happy's looking for the next big grab. This TC's still only level 1, though, and this aura is missing bad.
This consumable, if Ice Orc could grab it, he'd have an opportunity, and if he can force the TP, he could definitely do that. He has a Stomp available. He has nearly... he does have a Hex available. Oh, Hex. He morphs the Destroyer preemptively to get ready for the Hex. But Ice Orc does go for it regardless. There's the Devour. And now Ice Orc gets the consumable. Okay, opportunity. Maybe we still have a game on our hands.
That was really cool. He knew Happy was going to morph the Destroyer, and he was anticipating Happy to waste his Dispel, so he hexed late. But Happy waited for the Hex to be late in anticipation of that play. That was pretty sick. That was almost the way back into the game. Like I said, Blade Master crits, right clicks. There's always a way back in. But Happy was aware and creeps up more. We'll get level 3 here, Dark Ranger. That's a big level up. Lich close to 4, DK close to 5. And also a great item. Happy dodged a bullet right there. But he's still far ahead.
Yeah, oftentimes that's how we'll see Happy win games. He won't just like straight up destroy the fight unless, you know, it's a very one-sided match. In an even game, he'll trade evenly, but then he'll still get the creep camp. And then he'll take another fight, trade evenly, but he'll still get the next creep camp. And his opponent will just never be able to have the control of the fight to get the creep camp that they're fighting over. But in that case, finally Ice Orc was able to get that. He didn't get the Marauder earlier. He didn't get the other consumable either, but this time he does. Unfortunately, it was a 1 mana stealing, but I guess at least he gets the experience. And he finally gets the Torn Chief in level 2, and the supply is even at long last.
3 Skellies here from the green camp, or excuse me, only 2. But they do help, believe it or not. Soak up some damage, do a bit of right click as well. Blade Master mana pretty low, hard for him to reposition with the Windwalk. Focus fire heavily on the blade, invo forced early. That means the statues are safe probably for the whole fight. Speed Stroll runs in with the Kodo, doesn't get the Devour. Nice dodge by Happy. TC in the meantime goes down. The ring's not enough to protect him. The Blade Master also falling once more. Happy's nuke timing and execution are on point. And finally, claims the 1-0.
Happy does it. Ice Orc surviving 15 minutes. That's about 3 times as long as I initially thought. So shout out to him. And some engagements, as you guys pointed out, looked pretty damn good. Definitely better than Happy's 1 FPS player cam. But at least, you know, we try. Yeah, 1-0. That was to be expected, but it's just looking better than I thought.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest though, Happy was always in control. There was this one moment where the DK was a bit in trouble, and that came at an opportune purge, by the way. The DK got purged first, then Frost Armor comes out, and he purges the Frost Armor again, and then the DK was in trouble. And then this bit of RNG that the Blade Master always brings in. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, Ice Orc didn't play bad, but Happy. Okay, I'm fanboying a bit here.
You are.
To be fair, but he was in control all the time. Am I wrong, Carson? Am I wrong? I don't think so.
He was. Yeah, it's like I said. He's always winning the creep camp. Like Ice Orc might get some kills, like he gets those 2 statues, but loses the creep camp, and that's how Happy gets slowly further ahead. The gold from the creeps, the items from the creeps, obviously the experience from the creeps. I mean, gold, experience, items. What else do you need to be ahead in Warcraft?
All right, let's see. I've seen Happy destroy orcs, for example, the perfect game that he played against Soin at Raraland. That's not the Happy we're seeing here today. It's not super flawless. But okay, we'll see if Ice Orc has a better chance now, if he's maybe switching to a Farseer, if he sticks with the Blade. I'm a big fan of the Blade, and I'm a big fan of big red numbers, so Ice Orc, please do it again. Just a tiny bit better and maybe a little bit luckier in the early game. And then we have ourselves a series. 1-0 for Big Demi. Last Refuge next.
All right. Looking in the upper right, like we're going to have a Blade Master again. In the bottom left, Happy probably not going to change anything up. Obviously, the big thing that Ice Orc could try to focus on more, which is a little bit of a forehead comment. It's easier said than done, of course, is just keep those heroes a little bit safer. Prioritize man on the Shadow Hunter. Prioritize being ready for that silence, having potions of invulnerability, having potions of healing, stuff like that. If you don't lose the heroes, you don't tend to lose because there's so much mana for Happy being invested into that TC and that Blade in particular to try to get those kills early on. If you can keep those heroes alive, even if they're out of the fight, you tend to be able to trade good and win the fight in the end of it for the Orc player. So all about hero security for Ice Orc.
And I would also love to see his early game movement be a bit sharper on the Blade. That is also much easier, much easier said than done. But I think this is what really sets apart the great Blade Master players from the decent Blade Master players. We've seen that in the past, time and time again, against the Night Elves, especially. You have one Blade and one Peon to do something on the map, and there's so many things you have to accomplish, and it's very easy to fall prey to a little mistake and then fall behind. It wasn't that critical. Things didn't go so bad for Ice Orc in the early game on map 1, but Blade Master didn't get level 3 when the DK did get it very early. He had to use the speed scroll early, which was why he did lose the grunt later on. Ideally, you want to stay on par with the DK, get more items than the DK, and lose no grunts going to the mid game. And then you can get normally a level 3 Shadow Hunter pretty reliably. And to pull all that off against a top level undead, you have to be really precise with the Blade.
Yeah, and let's not also forget that the Shadowhunter, for the first fight over the Marauder, when the Blade Master eventually died, when the TC was very low and the nuke came in on the Blade, the Shadowhunter was still level 2 at the start of that fight because Ice Orc didn't have that third front that you mentioned he lost, and he also just didn't have any tier 2 units really to help him out with the Shadowhunter creeping. So we'd love to see a little bit more efficient in the early tier 2 stages as well as the early game. And hopefully, for Ice Orc's sake, some better items. He starts with the Gloves of Haste, buys the Circlet, but that's not a good start for the first item.
This was a pretty cool play by Happy as well, by the way. He used 2 coils on the creep, and he knew with that timing the Blade Master could never be there in time, so he didn't stay around to watch the Blade Master do something because he knew there was not a possibility. He checked the green camp instead because that's something that the Blade Master could have done. So, the level of knowledge and detail here by Happy, once again, very impressive. Oh, the grunt! Ice Orc! Bruh! He got the item and the creep, but if he loses the grunt, this is still an L.
Yeah, that was poorly done, too, to pop the grunt out. He was positioned to the upper right too much, so he popped him down to the bottom left, whereas if he was directly on top of the grunt, he could have moved him out. Maybe credit to Happy there. Maybe there was some fancy micro we didn't notice, but we're seeing the fancy micro now. The Trapper not falling to the blade, and almost all the mana used for Ice Orc. An advantage that he once had, which was that Happy had no coils left, which he tried to take advantage of at the screen camp, is no longer Happy. Is playing this quite well.
Speed scroll. Oh, baby. Do you want to risk it?
I would. I would all day.
Dude.
What is he doing?
So, speed scroll and grunt gone again. Having double circular gloves is actually really good on the blade, especially if we think about the late game. Throw an aura from the TC and a Kodo on top and a Orb of Lightning, and this blade can do some work. But again, the early game is rough. And this is the age-old Blade Master problem. If you don't play super clean early, things can go south. Unlike with the Farseer, normally, where the early game is a lot easier. And, well, everything's a lot easier.
Ice Orc is supply blocked.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh. Too much micro in the early game, I suppose, because, you know, really, from the time he had to build that second burrow, that's when he was going for the last hit at the Expo. And then he had that whole exchange, so that'll happen. And, yeah, I mean, this game would be so much easier. Same with the last game for Ice Orc. I respect him for trying to get ahead, trying to make plays, but you can just creep level 3. Just creep green camp, expo, shop with the second grunt. You could do things like this. And just Happy's, of course, going to trade level 3 with you. He always goes for that level 3 trade. You could do this, and you could end up in an even game by tier 2, but Ice Orc goes for the big plays. And this is what happens when you go for the early game big plays against Happy.
Well, that's level 2 coil.
Level 1 Blade Master Remo Demo.
We need some airdrop assistance. Let's throw 2 + 12 claws onto this blade, and then maybe there's still a way.
Happy would still win. He would just nuke it to death. His level 1 every fight. But we'd love to see that. Hey, maybe we should do that. All right. Is he going to get this Nightcrawler? Over under on that.
Well, Happy's at least out of mana.
Nice reposition.
Doesn't get the item though. Cloak goes to Happy while taking to tier 3. Lich on the way. We got the Slaughterhouse coming. It's an early Slaughterhouse as well. Gonna have pretty quick statues out. 2 statues, destroyers. And that's gonna be scary timing, let me tell you.
Happy 3 men off a coil to get this Overseer. Now has the coil. Wind Rider, by the way, for... Oh, nice.
He went around the tree line to not get hexed. Oh my god.
Super sick. I mean, what can you say? I like the Wind Rider. It's going to help with the creeping, something we were missing last game. But of course, this is a very far ahead undead player right now.
I mean, Happy's playing sick already.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have Happy, you know, starting slow into a tournament or into a series. Not the case today. Happy's super aggro. This is something he rarely does. Something I criticized him before for, that he plays so passively. But now he's putting on the gas. Speed scroll pop. DK perhaps in trouble. Call Nova on the Shadowhunter.
Oh my god. Then just TP's out. Doesn't get the kill. Okay. All right, Ice Orc forces the TP, gets the consumable. Doesn't lose the Wind Rider. No, does not, but loses the Scroll of the Beast. Ice Orc risking it huge here. Knows he has to because he's so far behind.
He doesn't have a speed scroll, ladies and gents. Big heal potion, perhaps quite handy right now. That grunt is certainly a goner. Lich got the Frostburn ready. And will not even need it. DK playing cautiously in the back. Grunt at least gets denied. But I think this is a win for Happy. It cost him a TP, but so what? Look at the Shadowhunter. 52 experience.
Yeah, the Blade barely over level 2. Got the greater heal, and the Blade Master item's looking good at long last, but yeah, TC's on the way, and then that's a three-way split on the experience. So even if you go, what, Mert Camp, Lab, Expo, Red, you're still not even going to be level 3 Shadowhunter, maybe, with all 3 heroes creeping there.
Happy's Lich also low level, but as we established earlier, that doesn't matter that much. Level 1 Lich, or at least level 2 Lich. Level 2 Lich is more than enough. Sometimes even level 1 Lich. Because the Frenzy timing is so strong. And Frenzy Ghouls are very potent, especially if the hero levels are low on the opponent's side. Happy's waiting for that timing. Creep one more camp, get the Frenzy, get the Destroyer, pick the 3rd hero, and then we may just attack the main base in a pretty crude fashion.
Ice Orc has showed a willingness, though, to just focus the DK when he needs to. And the DK has an Ankh, which is necessary, but that's really the only item that Happy has. He gets a Flute, which is nice, but Ice Orc just got Boots Club lost. He's got the Hex Stomp Crit combination.
That's a sick blade.
Yeah, his items are getting there. If Ice Orc is given some time, if Happy splits the map, goes for the red camp, maybe goes for the bottom right turtle, Ice Orc has opportunity here to really get level 3 Shadowhunter and then actually be able to win a fight with this blade.
Happy going for the red camp, of course, always very enticing to go for, but after this, he has to look for a fight. This would be a mistake for Happy, I think, if he continues creeping here in the bottom right. Just pick up the item. He scouted with the Acolyte. He knows where Ice Orc is. He needs to punish these low levels right now. Finds another poor item in the Legion Doomhorn. But yeah, it's time to go. And Ice Orc, level 3 blade, needs to go crit. We need to get some big damage in here.
Yeah, Ice Orc has crept 3 camps in the meantime, but the shadow is only 2.5. Okay, this is the stage of the game where you run around until Happy leaves you alone, and then you take the whatever camp you're given, and you say, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir," and then you take a fight and lose it. That is the stage we're in for Ice Orc. He needs to just run around. He's gonna try.
Maybe
He says, "Thank you, sir," but he's not being given it. He's Happy says, "No porridge for you."
Another tragic character that was dealing with porridge issues was Colin Farrell in the Banshees of Inisherin. Did you see that movie?
I heard it was good, but no, I have not seen it yet. I have not.
Pretty good indeed.
What the hell are you doing? Was this a miss movement again? Like the Blade Master early at the main camp?
Here. Raider on the high ground. That one's gone. Ooh. These are the slip-ups you can't make.
Poor guy just wants level 3 Shadowhunter. That's all he wants. That's all he wants Remo to do. He can't take a fight with this blade. He doesn't get to have fun with his hero till the Shadowhunter's level 3. And Happy's gonna get the next red camp, and it's about time Happy gets a sick item. It's about time. He's gotten some not good items a couple of times. This is where he gets the Khagars. He earns it. You get both reds. He's earned it. And there it is. Okay. That's all right, though. Better Lich.
Medallion is very good. Agitome for the Dark Ranger, get it? Could expand here, perhaps. There was an Acolyte here a second ago. Nope, back in the main. Sacrificial Pit, alright, baby.
Huh.
Give me some shades.
I like that. I like that.
Temple.
The Temple of the Damned. Interesting from Happy. I always wonder when he does these things that are different from how he normally plays most games. Why he does it. Does he realize he's so far ahead that maybe the only play is for this blade to carry and for maybe more hit-and-run-esque plays with some extra raiders? Ice Orc already showed a willingness to run around the whole map. Maybe Happy realized that. Shade counters the hit-and-run, Banshees counter the blade.
Yeah, normally... Well, I guess I can't speak for every undead, but what we see from lots of undeads is if the blade is like decently equipped but not too nuts, you just go for a Banshee, you curse him, and you ignore him. But if he's super crazy stacked, that even a curse isn't enough. You have to focus him.
Right.
And I would argue this blade is getting too crazy stacked.
Doesn't even have
picks
the
up
orb
the
yet,
lightning.
but he will soon, yeah. Okay, and Ice Orc has the 3/3/3 that he needs. He's also getting a Tauren Totem. Right on time to counter the Banshees. Also just Spirit Link in between Destroyer Devours to soak up some of that nuke, of course. Really, really important. That's one way to keep your hero alive. If the Spirit Link is timed well, take a lot less damage on your Blade Master than the Coil Nova. Happy. Finally getting some good items. Penner's Energy. Oh, Eddie gets the Crystal Ball. Here's the Creep Jack. Is this really where you want to fight, though, Ice Orc?
Shadowhunter running in deep. You gotta be careful with that positioning. Happy's gonna TP out after a massive stomp. Ice Orc finding a way back into the game, and Happy getting perhaps punished for playing a slow late game stage. Ice Orc has finally gotten the levels. He's got the triple level 3. And if the blade gets level 4, everything is still doable.
Yeah, Ice Orc just somehow finds a way back in a nearly unwinnable position. It seems like most often what happens in these situations, Happy just claws his way until the Orc has like 1 unit left and 1 hero left, and Happy has full control of the game. But Ice Orc is at a supply advantage for a second. Happy now pulls ahead with the Banshees that he's producing, but Ice Orc in a position where he could definitely win the next fight. Would love to see him get another push on vulnerability again, though.
Yeah, quite surprised. Ice Orc has managed to get into a good position here. Happy perhaps not capitalizing on his advantage enough. I think he'd have just, when Ice Orc was running around, lost the quota in the main base, just keep chasing him. Don't leave him alone. You got the level 2 aura, just keep following him around and force him to run away and expand in the meantime somewhere. That doesn't necessarily always work because there is such a thing as a Blade Master. But if it works, that wins you the game. Whereas now, we're in even position when Happy had the lead a long time ago. Going for the TC right away. Spirit Link protects him, getting partly dispelled. Banshees in the back, casting Curse. The Blade Master here certainly affected. A lot of Headhunters now as well. 2-0 upgrade, lots of damage coming from this. It's going to be the Destroyers having a tough time. No armor gets to them. Blade Master, focus fire on him as well. DK getting stomped in the middle of everything, but the Blade Master has to fall back. Has to use a potion, and he does. Potions quickly being used up by the Orc, and he needs these potions pretty badly. Whereas Happy gets stronger and stronger throughout the fight with these skellies. Blade Master going back in. That looks scary, but he gets back out once more. Shadowhunter has lots of mana, tons of mana in fact still left, whereas Happy is the one who's running dry. That statue change becoming noticeable. He's got 1 more Nova, well actually 2, but it's good enough. Even without coils, Happy wins this fight seemingly. Or did he?
So Speed's goal to get out. The Blade Master ran to the shop, but I don't believe there's a push on vulnerability available. Kodo gets caught out. That'll be a Fiend that's coming back. Oh, or will it? Yes, it will eventually. Blade Master just couldn't get engaged that fight. He needed to be up in the front doing damage. Needed a potion of vulnerability, but he only had a potion of greater healing. Yeah. So he wasn't really able to get that 7 seconds of damage that he needed in the front line. The positioning seemed good at first for Ice Orc, with the Headhunters in the back, but the heroes then were the ones that had to run to the back, and then the Headhunters were exposed, and also no Adept yet for the Walkers. Only now being started, you need those at least 1 or 2 disenchants to really make this Blade Master, because the Blade Master is the one that has to carry this stage.
It's also a big help with the TC. He's normally always the one that gets nuked. No Walkers anymore. Shadowhunter face tanking the damage, using the Hex to try to save himself, but the level 3 coil now so strong, the Blade Lich in trouble. But there's the Invo Potion to save him. The Medallion here helping him out, being less squishy than normal. And Happy finding more and more kills. His hero levels are out of control. Lich about to hit level 4 for some Dark Ritual as well. Trying to force the TP or something, but it doesn't work. DK is too tanky. Finds a Dark Ranger surround. This might be the kill for him. Oh.
Not as well to be passed, but that's Happy burning through a lot of his mana and his consumables. His TC should die. There's a coil. The critter kill those rabbits. Oh my god. Oh no. And GG is called. A nice try again to Ice Orc. He nearly had a comeback. I thought there was a position where he could have won there, but Happy just too strong in the fights as well as everything else.
Oh man. Valiant effort by Ice Orc once again, 16 minutes roundabout after that early game. Did not expect him to come back as strong as he was for a while, and then how unlucky was he in that fight? Did you see how many misses there were on the Blade Master? It was like 6 in a row. Literally 6 in a row. Not that Ice Orc wins the game then, but yeah, if you don't have Dispel Curse, it's a very strong spell, and I like that Happy moves towards Banshees. You saw the impact pretty much right away. And now he's on match points, and the Horde is about to be eliminated. Soin out, Focus out, Ice Orc down 0-2, Hitman out. It's not looking good for the Raze that was supposed to be the strongest one on this patch.
Yeah, well, you know, illusions were supposed to be our carry. You know, they were supposed to be, but look at us now. We're looking like fools over here.
Look at the prize pool now, though. Izzy with a $10 donation. Free beers for all. Remo pays. Smoke with the undead icon. And Paralo GG with 20 bucks. Keep it up. If you guys can keep up the support, we keep up the job that we do. 5,179. I still want that 5K, everybody. Chip in if you can. Buy the profile pictures if you want. And we get ready for map number 3. Big Demi on match points.
Yeah, and Northern Isles, another decent Blade map. Another map where you can force the late game and split the map quite easily. The only issue, of course, is those 2 middle camps to shop at the marketplace. Now, Ice Orc not joined the game yet. I wonder, he's in a team house. Is this a situation where you do a little team huddle and you see what everyone else is thinking? Oh, or maybe he's just lagging with the X next to his ping. But hey, maybe he's getting some advice from someone. I wonder what sort of Orc players are there with him right now.
Alrighty, waiting for the youngling to come back. But yeah, for everybody in chat who's again saying, oh, Undead is so OP, what can you do against Coil Nova? This is a 650 MMR difference. That's the difference between me on my best and players in ESL Meisterschaft. That's crazy. That's the difference of the Grass League players to people who are average, I guess. So skill might have to do something with the outcomes of this game.
That's an interesting question. In which MMR ranges, let's say 400 to 500 MMR difference, in which ranges are the likelihood of defeat the highest or lowest?
I would say the difference between like 1200 and 1600 is pretty huge, but the difference between 22 and 26 less so. I think I would argue so 12 to 16 would probably be that range. IMO.
Yeah, I'm normally about like 2000 MMR when I'm grinding, and like 1600, like it feels like a different world. It feels like
we play a different game down here. Let's be honest, we play a different game down here. It's still fun. It's still exciting. We still try our best, but you know.
But like from a matchmaking and a game mechanic standpoint, it's interesting, right? Like how the one area seems to be much more tightly packed, I suppose, than the other does. Like how there's so much difference in skill, for lack of a better term.
Remo, I think you have 2100 in you. You said you're 2K. I think you got 2100 in you. Maybe even 2150. I think you could do it. You just gotta grind a bit. I think that's your true MMR. Remo.
Just so you wait until he switches to Night Elf and can play Immolation.
Yeah, I mean, that's truly how you speedrun the ladder, because you just run across the map with a level 1 hero and, I guess, win the game. I guess that's just what the meta is now.
Dude, the fact that in Night of Mirror we have Immolation, it's so cool. It's it's glorious. Stick around tomorrow to see Night of Mirror between Lowlight and Sini. But little birdie told me that it might be Bear Mirror returning there. We will see. We will see. What do we think? We know one Night Elf is going to be in the grand finals tomorrow, right? That's going to be the lower part of the bracket. How high are the chances that somebody takes out Happy here? That's a big elephant in the room question.
Well, yeah, the issue is because if we're going to see Happy against the Night Elf today, it's obviously going to be Foggy. And if any Night Elf in this tournament is not going to play Demon Hunter with Immolation, as me and Neil were talking about earlier, it's not going to be Foggy. So we're not actually going to see Happy struggling against Immolation today if all of our predictions are correct. So it's hard. I haven't seen him, at least in my weekly cup cast, really have any adversity when it comes to Immolation. But if it is, say, Laliat, which is what we were thinking a big favorite for the bottom side of the bracket was to making the grand finals, say it's Laliat versus Happy, Light is going to abuse the hell out of that immolation, and then Happy, it might be his first real stress test for the new strategy. Whereas if he plays Foggy today, I don't know if we're going to see that. So it's hard really to tell.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting if the Light makes it all the way through. Would be a sick rematch, of course, from DreamHack.
From Rara Land.
I saw some ladder games of his against Moon, where also Moon was playing Immolation and stuff. And he was playing Demon Hunter solo. Solo Demon Hunter, which was pretty crazy.
Old
I don't
school
think that's
Korean
the way to
style. Yeah, that was Korean BattleNet. Every Night Elf player on Korean BattleNet back in the day used to play solo Demon Hunter, the classic.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Well, I think you say if Lolite reaches the grand final, we all know without a shadow of a doubt he's gonna be there. Who's the Sini guy anyway? My boy is gonna go all the way. I said it on day 1. I said it on day 3. Lolite is gonna win the tournament.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a 3-0 tomorrow, but I mean, we're supposed to hype things up, you know.
The final is best of 7, so it's going to be a 4-0 in the finals of Lolite versus
in the semifinal?
No, in the grand final. I'm thinking grand final already.
I meant Lolite versus Cena. Yeah,
I'm way ahead of you.
Ah, gotcha.
We also
Ice
got
Orc is good.
Yeah, and Ice Orc is also good to go. We got him in the lobby. Ping connectivity issues have been resolved. By the way, right now, there's an automated tournament test on W3Champions, the second one. If you can help, if you got some time to your hands, feel free to help them out. It's running on their Discord and, of course, on the W3Champions PTR. With that being said, let's take a look on game 3. So far, Ice Orc fighting spirit is there, but everything else is lacking. Let's see if you can take a map off of Happy with, you know, a handful of crits at the right moment. I'm not opposed to that. Let's go.
Alrighty. Northern Isles. Bottom left we have Happy. Upper right we have Ice Orc. Ice Orc, I would love to see him take a map. The Blade Master, I gotta say, has looked promising. There's just some clear mistakes. Clear mistakes.
Yeah, honestly, considering especially map 2, how it looked in the late game, that was pretty decent when huge mistakes happened in the early game.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much on map 1, but on map 2. I think Last Refuge, if you are left alone at some point, is a really good map for Orc Triple Hero Blade Master because it's so creep dense. You can find lots of consumables, lots of great items. He had tons of great items, which goes a long way, mainly for you to not die early. Stay alive, take the game late, and if ever you get to 5-5-4, you automatically win the game.
Right. Yeah, and we're talking about the early game, how maybe if Ice Orc can have a decent early game, he could pivot that into this high-level hero late game because he won't be at such a big disadvantage once that shadow comes out. Northern Isles is a map, I think I said this both the last games, you can just trade level 3s. You can go green into Expo, green into Cobalt, or into Cobalt, I'm reading the chat right now, the coffee fast, green into Tuskar, and that'll be easily level 3 on the Blade Master. Marketplace has plenty of good items. Even if you don't get a lot of good items in the early game, you can stack up your blade. And then with the level 3 blade, you can contest the center, the shop, the marketplace. If you can successfully contest one of those 2 camps, you can happily trade the rest of the map out and go into this late game situation.
A player's forces are under attack.
Is Happy ever going to be sneaky enough to play an Instant Expo? No, right?
Yeah, he's Crypt Lord, game 3. I would love to see that more. Now that Blade's coming back into the meta, just blind Crypt Lord.
You can do it with DK, honestly. I mean, it's harder, but you can still do it. But
on the old
it
patch,
is a bit of a risk.
Versus Soin.
Yeah.
With Lich, though.
So Expo creep right away. This is the new style of undeads. They're always taking a big camp right off the hop. And ring for Ice Orc. Oh, my boy. Sad days.
It's peaks and valleys over here today as far as items go. On Last Refuge, they were really good. But other than that, it hasn't been looking that hot. DK also, with a trash item, Talisman, basically useless.
Well, technically it's only 85% useless in Medema.
Yeah.
Oh.
We got A bug.
3-minute mark. We don't even need to talk about this one.
Yeah, that
A player's
is
forces are under attack.
no contact between the two. Definitely regame. Ice Orc had some connectivity issues before when trying to go into the lobby. Yeah, that's a clear regame.
All right. Hey, he gets another shot at the items. I guess both players are gonna be happy for that. Yeah, if you get ring, lightning shield. Just pull the plug. Probably Sky is there back there pulling the plug for him probably. Just ready to pull the internet. You got a ring? Okay. Let's go read. Every advantage it takes.
Imagine Sky doing such a job. Of course, he has a personal assistant to do that. The man is filthy rich, dude.
And he's just behind him in a fur coat.
That's that's high level management strategies. I like that.
Exactly.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Let's do this one more time. Northern Isles game 3.
All right. All the stuff we said before, we'll say it again. Do we have the script? This whole tournament's scripted. We have to go through it again, Remo. So, Northern Isles, level 3 and level 3. You said level 5, 4, 4 heroes. Trade the map. Okay, contest with level 3 at the shop in the marketplace. Blah blah blah. Items. 85%. Ring. Oh no. Okay, now we're off to the same spot. We're good.
I like how your brain just fast forwarded to current position as if it was a replay. It's,
Yeah, three times speed like Flow TV.
That's why you were made for theorycraft. You think like a replay, bro.
Be the replay. Alright, Blade again. So interesting to sometimes see when there's a regame like this, people change the strat. Like even if there's no interaction, even if it's the 3-minute mark, people just like get in their own head, be like, oh, maybe I should do headers. The Blade, I got a ring last game. It didn't feel too good. That first camp, it was scary, and then people change it. It has happened before, but both players sticking to the game exactly the same. Everything for both.
I'm just waiting for the math PhD in chat right now to point out that since it was ring last time, now it has a lower chance of dropping. Who's gonna be the first one?
Yeah, there's a name for that, isn't there?
Yeah. Bad math is the name for that.
Well, I don't know if it's
suppose.
math, Remo Demo. It's a psychological phenomenon.
Well, it's likelihood. What's it called? Stochastic
Stochastics.
math or something?
Oh, well. I did grade 10 math and grade 12, okay? It was really embarrassing.
A player's forces are under attack.
I was the coolest kid in that class, though, you bet. Acolyte got denied last game, by the way. So 25 XP plus Keck W.
Please no ring again. Dude, he's seriously cursed if it's another ring. 25%? Oh my god!
Okay, Happy. 10 of energy. End it. Put us down softly. Duck me into bed, Happy. Let's go.
I pray for Ring of Regen here every time. Every time.
Ring a regen.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that item so much. There's the pendant.
Wow, that disgusting laugh of Carson.
Hey, sometimes you just got to accept your fate, you know?
A player's
All right.
forces are under
The
attack.
Sky, you listen? Okay, are you back there? You ready? Lightning shield. 3 minutes, 11-second mark. Here we are again. Pull plug. Oh, no, we got illusions. Okay.
Yeah, with the lightning shield, you can creep the arachnid hits on this map. Isn't
That's
that
true.
pretty amazing?
Yeah.
Goes to the shop. Buy boots, baby. Like it's 2009.
Okay, so both players level 2. Ice Orc, the closest in experience that he's been in this series in the early games,
A
and
player's forces
Happy
are under attack.
might struggle to find the Tuskar, but he's not going to struggle to find those green camps if he wants to be a little bit more patient with his creeping. Ice Orc, with a lot of salves, just needs to reserve the mana for when he absolutely needs it.
The prime thing here you want to look out for as the undead, you always want to scout the marketplace, because those sneaky orcs love creeping the marketplace during nighttime with 3
Right.
grunts. That's the one camp you can't allow. That's why one Skelly is always hanging out there in the mid.
Very early dust there for Happy. He dusts immediately, I guess, just to get that null early on. Gets the claws as well. And gets the illusion. Ice Orc, ooh, is going to try to, with the illusion, the second charge there, get the Tuskar consumable. But again, this is what is getting Ice Orc at an experience disadvantage. He keeps going for these, just take the item from the camp creeps, as opposed to taking big camps to prioritize level 3 Blade. And gets not rewarded for it yet again. Scroll the Beast.
Oh my god, dude. These items are horrendous. Yeah, the early game creep route, like flowchart, it doesn't look perfected yet.
It's too intuitive. Like, he doesn't have something solid worked out for what Happy's obviously going to do. Like, Happy does pretty much the same creep routes every game until a better one is found, and then he does that one. And often he'll react, but Ice Orc just seems to be constantly reacting to everything and not always perfectly. Now Happy's going to get the grunt that he always is gifted. Not even has to, he doesn't have to use a second coil.
At least there were 4 grunts before, so there's still 3 grunts left for the Shadow Hunter. One, however, very hurt.
Blade needs a kill, and that'll be level 3. Maybe even the skeleton would be worth it. Happy. Oh, he's going to kill another grunt, isn't he? He's going to give up a ghoul, but he's probably going to get another grunt.
It's a hard surround to land.
Well, I like that they're buddy-buddy system here. They're just running next to each other, so it's hard to get in front. And Shadow will soon be meeting up with them.
Yeah, it's also hugging the tree line. When you have slower move speed, going up against a faster move speed army, you want to run along the trees in a half circle. That way it's hard for the opponent to catch up. Smart movement by Ice Orc.
Nice, Remo Demo. I like that. I like that sort of insight. That's wicked. Most players, honestly, even up to like, you know, high MMR, 2K MMR, 2100 MMR, they can't move their armies. They just can't do it. Whereas at this level, players like Happy, players like Moon, they're so good at their army movement as a whole. It's something that's often overlooked. Love that. Love that, Remo Demo.
Oh my god, you're making me blush, Carson. Thank you. Big Master still up to his old shebang. He got the level 3. Honestly, this isn't too bad. Losing the grunt hurts, but there's still 3 grunts out. Shadowrunner can creep level 2 right away. Oh, that's skelly though. That's nasty. If that cancels all the healing, that's so annoying, but only cancels 1. And Happy is ready to harass. Doesn't have that many coils. But yeah, it's all about Shadowrunner levels. This is a thing we've seen over and over. He wants to slow down the Shadowrunner as much as he can.
So Happy doesn't invest the Coil Nova. Ice Orc wanted him to there. If you can just eat a Coil Nova, run away, salve up, you're happy to do that because anything, if not on the grunts, if not on the blade in the fight. But Ice Orc.
Oh, wait a minute.
He's risking it right now. Happy is here though, and he's got the Nova.
He can't hex both. He can't hex both.
Oh,
Happy though, a bit too slow. I think he tried to pump fake first. Anyways, experience goes to the Orc. Fiend gonna be traded for a grunt right here. But keep in mind, guys, this is still very little experience, all things considered. Shadowhunter's still gonna be low level after this.
Rune Bracers. Pushing invulnerability because the blade was windwalked, and Happy did not know if Ice Orc was just gonna go for the DK. 2 coils invested on the Hex Fiend, but now, there's nothing to save the Lich except the TP coming.
Oh, denied!
Denies it with the right click! Oh my god, Happy.
Gets the grunt. That's a win. That's a W.
Happy. Oh my god. Yeah, who cares? 30 seconds, the Lich is back. Ice Orc gets some experience. Shadowhunter 1.3.
And 0 mana. He's gonna need 2 clarities to get back.
And a heal scroll was invested there, by the way, by Ice Orc.
Bruh. That was sick.
Jesus. How does he find the way to deny that? He knows he can't pass the TP, so he just says, alright, buddy, I'll see you. See you on the other side.
Happy playing this matchup really well. He's come a long way in this matchup, by the way. This was his one Achilles heel a long time ago. Back, you know, GCS days. You guys may remember Robam tournament, where Happy was in China. In fact, he was 2-0'd by Fly when the voices were still loud of how unbeatable Orc was. And Orc, I suppose, was a bit stronger back then with the meta and everything in comparison. But also Happy back then was way less willing to play aggressive. And this is a new strength he's especially found in this matchup, which makes him so damn scary. Level 4 now on the DK. Double pendant, baby.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty good with a mana potion, I hear.
Yeah, quite good indeed. And red camp could be crept quite easily by Happy, but that's going to give Ice Orc a lot of space if Happy goes for it, and Ice Orc has his own red camp available at the bottom right, so honestly, this is probably all right. If Happy doesn't go aggressive, Ice Orc's going to be happy about this, most likely. Lich gets a ring. Happy searching, but no town portal, no pushing of vulnerability. Happy needs to be careful. Ice Orc has shown a serious willingness to just focus heroes in these fights.
Dark Ranger picked up. She picks up as well herself. The Invuln. Only one shot at this map. Oh, there's 0 Invulns on Ice Orc and 0 mana on the Shadow. Well, good thing I guess that he found that potion of mana. I hope it's not going to sound like Happy earlier.
Okay, Onk. That's
Oh,
nice.
that's looking
with
rough,
the
dude.
shadow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not looking good. Uh-oh. Synchronized. Yeah. I almost had suicide. I just had suicide.
Okay, the Blade manages to windwalk before the silence. Blade's almost level 4, but the Shadow is 2.6. With no mana, the Shadow Hunter creeping has not been good. And this is why I say, I said it in the first game, prioritizing units early tier 2 as opposed to just going straight tier 3. This delays your Tauren Chieftain and your Orb, of course, yeah, but why do you need your TC if you can't even get your Shadow level 3? Prefer to have the Wind Rider, prefer to have a Headhunter, maybe a Kodo. At least Ice Orc has the burrows at the front, well positioned. Might make it difficult for Happy to end the game right here.
The cement is activated. And this burrow damage is doing a decent job, but of course so are the ghouls. Happy is starting to transition into fiends now, because the ghouls can die quite quick against the blade, like these two. And there's no threat of AoE chain lightning. But that didn't make sense with my argument. But anyways, this is where Happy can just expand.
Past that. Yeah, he definitely could. He could just contain, continuously cancel the shop. But maybe he wants to go for a red. But he knows Happy, if he goes for that bottom right red, Ice Orc's going to run to the upper left. Because Ice Orc's, of course, not going to try to creep Jack right now. Okay, but Ice Orc runs there immediately. 10 supply advantage. Happy, instead of expanding, breaks upkeep. Maybe going to creep these remaining camps and then again go for a push. Again kill that shop and then kill that next for a burrow. Try to end off this. Ice Orc could have maybe sent his blade to the bottom right. He would have had time, but Happy, I doubt, would have let that happen. That last hit.
Alright, this should be Shadow 3, and TC2, and Blade level 4. Okay, this is a crazy high value camp, actually. What do we need here? Claws plus 12 for the Hail Mary.
Yeah, I think he needs something like that for sure. Yeah, the blade, the hero focus. Okay, that's that's probably better. Yeah, that's probably
good.
Yeah.
Choke of Flames for Happy. Well then. That is 285 gold. Wait, how much is it nowadays?
Yeah, it's probably worse than the Tome of Agility that he just got for the Dark Ranger.
Against Farseer would be pretty good.
Yeah.
But against Blade normal you can't afford to be so deep in with a DK, which is why it's not that good.
A town is under siege.
Counterattack for Ice Orc, maybe? No, he's going to try to defend. And of course, against this amount of ghouls, if you don't have the spikes that I think are super underrated, by the way, difficult to...
And they're very cheap, right? 75 gold or something?
Yeah, 25.75.
25.75!
I believe. Or the other way around, maybe? I'm trying to remember. They're pretty cheap.
Makes
Shadow!
Ultra Vision expensive.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Frenzy ghouls. Okay, he's got a salve. He's got full mana, but the fight is now super messy. Pink foil doesn't land, but it goes on the Berserker instead. Okay, Destroyer's gonna fall. All the Berserkers have fallen. Sometimes all it takes is a Silence Coil Nova, and that makes the fight impossible for the Orc because you gotta control that shadow over everything else. The Blade, though, 192. Kodo gets surrounded, popped out. But Ice Orc, I don't think he has enough units left.
And Blade Master to carry the torch. He is tanky. He is blessed with 2 lives. But well, he's not putting in the right clicks right now. Happy looking for the next round.
Silence.
I'm always amazed with Happy's ability to just run out of mana at the perfect time when he just won the fight barely.
Yeah.
Or, in this case, not so closely, but, you know, always the mana seems to be exactly how much he needs. And there's no need to unnecessarily even go for mana pulse or something like that, because this one seems to be in the bag.
Ice Orc can run in and snipe that statue. He has Khadgars and Happy's low on mana. If he get rid of that statue, he could extend the fight. He's going for the hero focus, so forces that last
Purge!
Oh, wait a second. Potion of vulnerability past critical strike, critical strike.
Oh, the Purge saved him!
And now there's no infall.
Lucky Purge against the hero, 15% chance. And the Blade Master. When there's a Blade Master, there's always still a chance, and all of a sudden it just turned around. Maybe Happy did need to Purge again! First and Purge of the Lich! Oh my god!
Shadow
RNG is saving Ice Orc.
Pops the shadow out, possibly does, but now the blade at risk. Nice micro with the Windwalk. You don't often think about popping the units out later on, only in the early game to save the grunts, but Ice Orc does it twice in this fight. Once to save the Kodo, and now to save the shadow. We might actually have a game 4. Oh my god. Despite all the mistakes from Ice Orc, really. Or Kimba.
Dude, the crits and the purges. RNG on his side here in the late game. Maybe not so much with the items early. But yeah. That is always so frustrating. You put a new frost armor on a hero, and then he gets the first hit purge. That is keyboard destroying levels of frustration.
You speak from experience.
I do.
I think you got that Corsair hookup. Alright. So now Ice Orc, time to recover. He's got the crystal ball to scout. If he's probably used it to make sure Happy didn't expand during that. That's always the worst nightmare. You know, oh, I barely won the fight. Oh, he's got 2 expansions coming up at the same time. GG. But Ice Orc is going to be happy to not see that. And the heroes are getting kind of out of control. The Blade's on his way to level 5.
Yeah. If the Blade gets level 5, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Happy still has the lead, but he doesn't have the Banshee tech. And now we have walkers coming in. If the destroyers can be taken out, now with the walkers here, I think Ice Orc really has to prioritize those statues and destroyers. Put the blade on the statues right away and pick off the Destros, and then, when there's no T-Spell, Spirit Link is really good.
Yeah, it's extremely strong. It's necessary even against the nuke. No creeps left on the map, so this is where it becomes difficult. This is where experience comes into play in terms of player experience. How the hell do you get an advantage if there's nothing to creep and no incentive to move out of the map because no expansions? I guess you just meet in the middle and fight? Is that what they're going to do? Both are around the same supply, but Happy now more destroyers, and that's 58. Yeah, don't fight into this, Ice Orc.
Patented Altar of Darkness cell for 90 gold. Every little thing counts. The levels, I think, here tell the difference perhaps in the end. DK almost 5. Dark Ranger almost 3. This is huge level ups for Happy around the corner.
Whoever gets the potion wins the game. Calling it right now. Blade Master. Get it. Does eat a nuke off the hop. Potion of vulnerability to break the silence. Maybe hero focus. 3 destroyers up in the air. There is a good counter in the way of the Berserkers, but there's so much nuke. Kodo's gonna fall. Stomp lands really flush. The Blade Master in the back. Just chopping away Remo Demo.
He's got one more Stomp. Could be big against all the Fiend backline. Blade Master trying to take out the destroyers. Gets one of them, but 2 are still here. Not too much Spirit Link anymore. Huge Stomp. Oh my god. Happy was begging for that one. Lich goes for the Evil Potion right away. Wants to be not so unlucky this time with the Purges and gets the hero kill. TC falls. Double level up. And not only no more Stomp, but also no more Aura. And this is where Ice Orc may be falling apart finally. He'll still use Blade Master. Evil Potion also saves him last second. 144 crit. That's a joke crit. That's a baby crit. What is this? We need more than that. If Ice Orc wants to have a chance here, but he's losing everything in the meantime. Blade, if he falls, the game is certainly over. The coil doesn't quite kill him. Rune Bracers save him, but not for long. Levels now completely out of control for Happy. 5, 4, 3. It was a struggle. It wasn't easy, but in the end, it will be a 3-0 here for Happy.
Yeah, Ice Orc not the best end of that fight there after the TC dies. The Blade kills the Destro in the back and then has opportunity to focus an out-of-position statue, but instead goes deep for the Fiend. Then he gets the good ensnare on the Destroyer, popping it forward, but runs past the ensnare Destroyer and again goes for a Fiend. He had 2 free unit kills, but Happy seemed to have 3 free games in this series.
And little detail, by the way, the TC wasted the invul in the beginning of the fight, which he could have used earlier. He got silenced, he used it to break it, but he could have just dispelled, because the Walker wasn't silenced, he had adept, he could have just disenchanted. In my opinion, one of the biggest strengths of Walker's late game. So yeah, decent showing by Ice Orc, but he needs a bit more work and perfection to go up against the Hamster.
The Hapster. He does what the Hapster does best. Destroying people on Warcraft maps. That was the most one-sided match in the first round, I guess, and the expected result with happy 3-0. Ice Orc, good effort. Some good moves, man. I love that fight close to his base upper right. Love when Purge does things and Crit does things. But yeah, the red numbers, they weren't big enough, unfortunately. So all Orcs eliminated. And Happy waiting in the next round for his opponent. That's either Foggy or PCG.
Yeah, and I mean, it could be either of them. PCG, Undead. He's an Expo player. I do think Undead Expos can be quite good against Night Elf recently, but I would say Foggy the favorite. So we might get Happy versus Foggy, which is, you know, I mean, Happy showed some cracks. He was maybe close to losing a game, maybe even a game and a half in that series. So Foggy, if he plays his best, his very best, if he's tip-top shape today, perhaps we won't have 3 3-0s.
All right, yeah, that will be a test for Foggy. Is he still playing Keepers? Is he still playing Masked Rites? Is it still his own thing? Or is he a follower of the Imbalation? Next game will probably show us, but PCG. What can we say about PCG? You'll all find out after the little break that we're doing here, but of course this is the W3Champions Finals. This is where we celebrate the server that is W3Champions because it is the best server and there's no big corporation behind it. No Blizzard, no multi-billion-dollar company, no support from anyone but the community. Community and heart is what built the foundation of W3Champions, and it's getting better every season. Automated tournaments being tested right now. And of course, you got leagues from the Grandmasters to the Grass League. We got updated map pools every single season with Melting Valley being revamped and reintroduced here. All you gotta do for that is to go to W3Champions.com, click the Join the Battlefield button, download the plugin that will be installed on your vanilla Warcraft 3, and then you got great multiplayer experience. And the best feature, I still can't believe it that the technology is here, but wins and losses are counted properly. Yeah, we can't count on W3Champions. Other companies are still failing with that, especially in the 4-4 department. Not everybody can be as good as W3Champions is right off the bat. You can unlock profile pictures with wins or buy some here at the W3Champions crowdfunding as well. They introduced the Zoom feature, they got a reconnect feature, and sometimes on some blessed days, there's more than 7,400 games played on one day. That record was set last Saturday. Maybe you can bring that up to 7,500. That would be quite nice. We got 1-on-1, 2-on-2, FFA, 4-on-4, Legion TD, Reign of Chaos, Banjo Ball, Random Heroes, which is quite popular, and newly introduced Dota 5-on-5, the original Dota. If you don't want to go to Steam and play the updated version, you can do it here on W3Champions for free and get a little bit nostalgic. We got 30 servers around the world, from northern China down to South America. Doesn't matter where you are. We got good playing connections, even for the Oceania region that was abandoned for 20 years. W3Champions got you covered, everybody. That is quite expensive, of course, because Blizzard is only providing us with 3 servers, right? We provide you with 30 servers. That is at least 10 times the cost. And, you know, the Chinese servers are quite expensive as well, which are necessary for competitive Warcraft 3. So if you can help them out and chip in, do so at W3Champions.com. On the right-hand side, there is a support section. They have a Patreon running. We got more than 10,000 people playing on this server and 100 Patreons. That seems a little low, that number. Maybe you guys are not in for Patreon but want to contribute via PayPal. That's possible as well as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. And if you're coming from the Chinese scene, then we got you covered with Alipay and WeChat. And if you think, okay, money is a little short right now, we all know the times are not the easiest, but maybe you can help out with manpower, because the team at W3Champions, basically the same team, is doing that stuff for 3 years, and it's not the easiest task in the world. Warcraft 3, very, very fragile. Every patch ruins something, has to be restored. This is what they're working on right now. You can help the moderators. A lot of players lead to a lot of complaining, and the bad apples have to be sorted out, which is also one of the great features of War3Champions, that there is a human moderator team working on it. You can be one of them. If you reach out to Miyagi or Cephid, they'll gladly pick you up. Also, if you want to help coding, JavaScript, C#, .NET, jQuery, Rust, TypeScript, or Node is used. There is a public or semi-public GitHub repository. Cephid is also the person to talk to. He's also in chat right now, so maybe send him a Twitch DM, Cephid UK. He's gonna enjoy that one and will be very, very thankful that you all spam him now with your request to join the team. Also, graphics work is always appreciated, or, you know, some social media and PR work as well. People need to spread the word about this beautiful server. Did I miss anything, guys?
I think you got everything. I mean, I certainly don't remember all that, so I think you got everything. I think you're good to go.
All right, then. And this tournament got a lot of community contributions by all you guys buying the profile pictures, as well as UD fans from China chipping in $1,500. Our MVP of 2022 and 2023, Kleine Schildpad, donated a lot to the cause as well. And a company stepped up, a company with Warcraft fans called the Scale Tippers. They bring your body in summer shape. They get you your lazy asses off the couch. They put the frozen pizzas aside and they help you out with nutrition and workout plans. Don't worry, you don't have to go to a gym. You can do this all from home. And if you want to check them out, you can do that via thescaletippers.com. You can join their Instagram and you can join the YouTube and check out what these guys are doing. And in between workouts, you can talk with them about Warcraft 3 as well. Or while you're cooking, you know, sometimes you gotta wait a little bit for everything to heat up. Perfect time for that. What better than getting in shape, be healthy, and talk about Warcraft 3? That's basically Remo's entire lifestyle.
Lightweight, baby. Points if you guys know who I'm quoting in the chat, everybody. Okay.
Okay, certainly not me. Thank you for the subs. Your dad beat dad for 18 months. Just Ross for 55 months. Let's go Orc. Thanks for the great content. Ripperinos for the Horde, my man. Sorry to disappoint you there. Scrap it for 9 months. Best community there is with the best casters available. Nothing more to say. Let's go. Well, to be fair, there's not too many casters available, but I guess we do the job anyway. Joe with the 28-month, Rice with the 4-year resub, Sky King Saiyan for the 1-year resub. We appreciate you all that you're sticking by our side. And now I talked a lot, and I'm old, and I'm out of shape, so I'm gonna look at the Scale Tippers homepage and take a breath, and we're back with Foggy vs PCG in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.